Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Pitch, Season 1, Episode 3. It's called Beanball. Full spoilers for the episode will follow. So, I actually really like this episode. I think the show has been very consistent.
It has, remarkably so.
Yeah, because I think after the first episode we were thinking, oh, well, what's the plot of the season now? Where does it go in episode 2 and so on? And I feel like it's given us really solid like focus for each episode so far.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
but yeah, this one revolves around one game where the opposing team have this reputation, and the last time they played, the pitcher for that team broke a finger on Tommy, who was pitching for the Padres at the time, and because he's got a really bad fastball, and this is referred to like when a pitcher hits the batter, it's referred to as beanball. And the funny thing is I think this the start of this. Do you know how this does the thing where it shows you a little bit of something at the start, and then it goes, okay, 2 days earlier or whatever,
Yeah, it
right?
was like seven hours earlier.
7, oh, whatever. Same thing. What sometimes that gets overused in TV shows, right? But this is
Mm.
one where I think it actually worked really well. And I think it worked really well for a couple of reasons. One was more personal for us because we don't really know much about baseball. That we don't really know what beanball is. But over the course of the episode, it's like built up and it's explained to us, and it's so by the time we get back to that opening scene, it's like, okay, we understand the stakes now. Like we got
Yeah,
the sense from the opening scene that there was stakes, but we didn't really quite understand what it was. But when we got there the second time, it was like, okay, right, it's all on.
yeah. One of the other reasons I think it really worked is those moments typically tend to be right towards the end of the episode. You know,
Hmm.
when they get there and they flash back, and then it's like, oh, okay, here's before it. It kind of gets that. The original moment tends to be right near the end, where this was only about halfway, maybe.
Yeah, maybe a bit over, but yeah, somewhere in that.
But it felt like there was a good amount of time after as well.
And so the whole thing was that Jenny's going up to bat, which actually answers one of our questions because I think in the first week we asked, do the pitchers also bat like the rest of the team? But they do, as it turns out.
Yeah.
And she's going up to bat, and it's very tense. And Tommy and Mike are like, they say something like, "Yeah, we have to get ready to go," and he's like, "Yeah, I'm right behind you." And when we first hear that, we don't like what like. What's he talking about? But then when you get there the second time, you're like, oh, this is because they're going to run on the pitch because a fight
Mm.
might break out. So it works really well in this episode. That I think that because it builds what the stakes are as it goes on, and in two ways as well. Firstly, just in the general sense of the team rivalry but also in how Ginny's like a part of it and how the other pitcher won't do it to her. Even though she hit him with the ball, and the off book rule, as it were, is that means that the other pitcher's allowed to hit you.
It's a fair rule, if you ask me.
It makes sense. I get it,
Yeah.
but like like he won't do it. Like he's refusing to do it because she's a woman, and that's that pisses her off, and that's kind of it's an interesting idea that she's pissed that he won't hit
Yeah,
her.
it's the same idea we've had for the last couple of episodes, especially the second one as well, where she
Mm,
just wants to be one of the guys and she just wants to be treated like everyone else. And
yeah,
it's now not just by her teammates, even the opposition are taking the same approach.
yeah, yeah. But of course, it actually ends up making for a nice little bonding story because Tommy, who's been very aggressive with her and very standoffish, not only does he say when she comes back in from pitching the previous inning, not only does he say, "I'll let her pitch one more, she's earned it," right? Which is the first sort of sign of, oh right, he's starting to turn around. I don't know if you noticed this, but when the fight does break out, and they all run on to the pitch, do they call it a pitch in baseball? I should probably say something else. The diamond,
Do you know what? That's a good question.
the diamond, the field, the field. They probably call it the field.
Field, yeah.
Field sounds right. Baseball
Yeah.
field, yeah, that sounds right. So when they all run out of the field, he's the first one who dives in to like
Yeah.
defend her. Like you actually see him like properly dive at the other person.
Yeah, it like
Um,
grabs him. Yeah.
yeah, but then obviously as they're walking away afterwards in the fist bump, and actually the shot of them walking like down the tunnel, like the ramp's really nice. Like, this really poetic shot of them both in silhouette.
Yeah, it's a really great shot.
As equals, because you can't even tell, male or
Which
female.
is which?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Partly because he's got long hair, but
Yeah,
but
but
it
it
works
for the moment.
Yeah. So no, I thought all that stuff was great. I was really into all that. The flashbacks were better this week, although I was shocked to see dolls from Winona Earp.
I swear, he was in one thing and now he's everywhere.
I know, because he was in Killjoys for an episode as well. It's like,
he's just showing up in everything we watch now.
yeah, and it's funny because all through that season of Winona Earp, all we said was, this guy can't act.
Yeah.
And now he's getting jobs everywhere else. Now, to be fair, he probably was a bit better here. But,
yeah, probably.
But that's probably just because he wasn't trying to act like the tough, FBI agent.
He didn't really have
type.
that much to do either.
Nah.
So it kind of helps.
Yeah. But I thought the way they went into the flashbacks was better this time. It wasn't the awkward line of dialogue to.
Yeah, it's
tee
just
it
a
up.
smoother transition. I hope that means they're learning, and in future it will be smoother and smoother.
Yeah. Although I'm wondering how long these flashbacks will go, because so far they've all been, I've seen the point of all of them. The first one's just her becoming a baseball player. The second one was her about finding the right manager, and this one was about why she doesn't date other players. That this was explaining that and giving a really good reason why she shouldn't. And even though you can't, I think I understood it beforehand. I got it anyway, but this made it very clear. We see the effect of what happens if the other players think she can be dated.
Yeah, definitely.
So, so that was all good. Of course, the other subplot in this one was the manager and him kind of fighting for his job and doing some politics backstage, or in, I should say, it's actually specifically in the locker room. He's doing some politics over dinner.
Some whining and dining.
Yeah, with an actress whose name I can't remember, but she's been in a lot of stuff. She was in Just Shoot Me and various other things. But he makes a bit of a, not so much a power play, but he appeals to the logic of letting him stay on for the rest of the season, because he's right. Because his whole argument is that if you fire me now, it's going to look like it's Ginny's fault.
Yeah.
And he's right, and it made sense. So, no.
Yeah, it does make sense, because they don't want to have that bad image. He doesn't want that. Everyone wins this way, at least in the short term.
No, but I think, again, it did a good job of juggling everything. It did a good job of making the moments on the field feel, impactful. I cared about what was going on. Everything seemed to have stakes.
Again, I like that. I know last week I said, I like that they're not showing us it every week.
Yeah.
I like that even when they are showing us, they don't feel the need to show us everything in the game. They show us the moments that matter, and just enough of them.
That's relevant to the story they're telling for this particular episode, yeah.
Exactly, because it could have been easy for them to show other bits of the game and just fill up time almost.
Yeah.
But they didn't feel the need to do that, and that's good.
Yeah, no, it worked really well. Other small subplot as well is Oscar he's been tasked to tell the Korean pitcher that he's moving back down to the minor leagues, and he needs to find a translator, and he can't. And I love how he goes to Elliot, and you wouldn't happen to be Korean, would you? It's like, yeah, as it happens. It's like, can you speak
It's
Korean?
like he's really, really cautious. It's like, oh, please don't let this be offensive.
It also just feels like he's grasping. He can't
He
find
is
a Korean
desperate.
translator.
It is just desperately trying anything at this point.
He's a couple of minutes away from just looking at the crowd and going, right, do any of them look Korean?
He is.
Do any of them fit this bill? Nah. So that was all fun stuff, but again, it had a nice moment at the end when it turned out the manager can actually speak Korean.
Yeah, and then he has that moment right afterwards. It's this really poignant moment where he's telling him he's got to go back down. Obviously, surprised everyone by coming out in Korean, and then
he says, "Don't underestimate me."
Yeah, and then he goes, "Right, I'm gonna go drop a deuce."
Yeah, he's really playing with our expectations of who he is.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So last week we ended with Amelia and Mike looking like they were connecting at the bar, and we find that this week that they did in fact end up sleeping together. They spent the night.
They definitely connected.
They did. I actually kind of liked their relationship more than I thought I would. Had you asked me last week,
you'd almost groan.
Yeah, but so far it's been kind of fun.
Yeah, it has. I think it's because obviously she kind of runs up and like shouts at him and stuff, and he's like, "Nah, get lost."
I think one of the best moments is when he hits a home run and we see her cheering and reacting, like fist, throw her fist in the air, and then she turns around and has to compose herself. Like, what? Good for him.
Yeah,
Because
it's really good.
Because at the start, when they get up, because they're getting ready to go to work and stuff, and she's like, okay, look, obviously we don't want to let this be known and so on. And I was kind of like, oh god, this is going down the whole thing where she doesn't want anyone to know, and he's going to be hurt and wants to tell people. But at no point did it feel like just that.
Nah, he was like, "No, I don't want people to know either." Really.
Yeah.
Essentially, also that bit in the morning led to a great moment where she comes out and he's cooking, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry, I can't have breakfast. I gotta go." And he's like, "Oh, this is all for me." And then she looks hurt. It's like, "Wait, you weren't going to offer me breakfast?"
And to be fair, afterwards he does say, I can whip you something up, but these 4 slices of toast and this big plate of scrambled egg is mine."
Exactly. It's great.
Oh dear. No, but I think the way they played it off with each other, it still felt kind of fun, even when they were having that conversation. And despite the fact that it feels like that was meant to be the end of it and meant to be a one-time thing, they're clearly, she clearly goes and flirts with him later on at the end.
Yeah.
When he's complaining about his back. Oh, by the way, did you realise that was the actor playing him is from Saved by the Bell?
I did not.
Yeah, someone mentioned that on, was it Twitter or YouTube? I don't know. Someone commented mentioning it, and I'm like, really? That get out? And then now I'm looking at him every episode, going like, I can kind of see it. Obviously, he's like 25 years older, but
Aye, that's going to be me next week because I haven't seen that show in such a long time.
yeah. The main one, what's his face? Was it Zach?
That sounds about right.
Yeah, Zach. I think it was Zach.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's been so many years since I've watched that.
It's been a long time since I've seen it. That said, though, I'll always remember Tiffani Amber Thiessen. Don't forget her.
No. Who would?
Nah, you just don't. But no, all that stuff's fun. And of course, I actually thought they delivered another fun little twist. Because she's arguing with the pitcher about not hitting. Ginny's arguing with the pitcher about not hitting her. You try to keep me safe, so on. And then she turns and says it to the guy catching the ball, and he stands up and lifts up his mask, and it's the ex-boyfriend from the flashbacks. I was like, oh, nicely done.
Oh, yeah. And obviously with him, they set up, if not next episode, an upcoming one.
Yeah, and it's not even like, he mentions that his accounts have been hacked and that photos from his phone and stuff have been taken. And it's not even like, it doesn't even sound like it's dirty photos. It's not like, it's not nude leaks. It's just, this proves that you were in a relationship with another baseball player at some point.
It could, yeah. I mean, they could play it that it was nudes. We don't know.
Like, I don't think it was. The way
I don't think so, but they could.
The way he was saying it didn't sound like, because it sounded like selfies from our trip. It didn't.
It did sound like that.
Yeah, I don't think he was taking naughty photographs, but it's something that'll come up and she's going to get asked about it ad nauseum.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the focus of one of the episodes coming up.
Yeah.
And so, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Also, I'm really digging the music for the most part.
It's really good. It's mostly playing off that same theme. That is the title theme as well. For a lot of it, but it's like variations on it and stuff. But it's really good.
I did a little bit of looking. It's from an artist called Black Violin. And they've used a couple of those songs, I think. And obviously they're violinists. That's their whole crutch of the music.
Yeah.
So no, I've been really enjoying it, and it's given it a really unique sound as well.
Yeah, it has, because there's not a lot else like it on TV.
Yeah, so no, I'm really liking the music. I enjoyed the sweet moment with the little girl.
The daughter
when she meets her. Yeah, I thought that was a fun little sweet thing. I mean, I thought like Oscar's little moment with her where he's like saying that he's not going to be staying over anymore in the guest room. I was like, this is fine on its own, but I'm not sure we've been with him enough to care about his marriage.
Yeah, I don't think it was earned either, honestly, that moment.
That's probably my only... I mean, I thought it was, well, like I say, on its own, just for acting, for, moment, the music play, like, everything worked well.
It just didn't quite feel earned.
Yeah, so that would probably be my only complaint about this episode. Otherwise, I was pretty into it the whole thing.
I think it's a bit more of a baseball-like question. You probably won't be able to answer it. Obviously, the thing where they hit each other is called a beanball. Mm-hmm. But they actually have a physical beanball. They always throw it down. What is that for? What is the point of that? I genuinely have no idea.
Um, I I'm gonna guess, right? I'm just gonna take a stab in the dark that it's for the weight is very. I imagine the weight's very specific, and it's something to do with them loosening up their hand or wrist.
Maybe.
That's what my guess would be. Like, it's something to get their hand ready for the types of hard balls that they throw.
It always occurred, like, something that I always wondered, and I see it a few times in this episode, and it's like, I really need to know what this is.
It's the it's almost the equivalent of a pool or snooker player chalking their cue. That's what I'm going to say.
Do you know what the closest thing is? The tennis players where they bounce the ball a couple of times before.
Ah, yeah, that's kind of
But
similar.
I get the purpose of that one, like, because obviously it's to test the ball, see how it bounces, and just check that it's right. But with this, I'm not sure what the purpose is. I'm genuinely interested. Someone should probably tell me, please.
Yeah,
Because Peter's just guessing at this
let's
point.
let us know in the comments. I don't. Maybe it's the exact weight that the ball should be, so they're testing the weight and saying that okay, see if the ball's regulation. I don't know.
The only other thing of is maybe wind, like they're checking to see if it moves when it comes down. There's a wind direction.
Oh yeah, okay. That's actually not a bad idea. Bad guess.
I really don't know though.
Let us know in the comments, guys. That's episode 3 of Pitch. Thank you very much for watching and listening to our rambles as always. So yeah, let us know what you thought of the episode as well in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz. Keep watching TV, guys. We will see you next week.